Alrighty, Roo, and cuckoo to you and all my nobodies not watching out there. I got that out of my system. It took a second, but I'm happy with it. Again, whatever happens, happens. You know, Cowboy Bebop, sort of concerning. You know, I don't even know if I'm allowed to do that shit. I don't think it's against the thing, but you never know, man. You never know. Like everything's illegal. Everything is forbidden. You know, it's like I'm just trying to. It's not like everybody's watching, so it doesn't matter, right? But I just want to make the content I want to make because it's funny to me and entertaining, and I have no desire to cause harm to any of the audio outtake sources that I would take from because I'm supportive of them and would be more so if I could. But anyway, that was your final test. Congratulations! You have proven yourself worthy. I could feel something sharp sliding into my neck. Oh, look! You look like very pretty, but also very not in your best moment. So what shirt got ripped off? Was it that one? Was there another one? Was it the overcoat sort of like suit jacket thing? It's not too painful, just startling. Think a doctor pushing a needle into your vein without proper warning. Then it hits me. Pure bliss. See, now that's not my understanding of how that works. My understanding is, I mean, maybe. They don't really go into the perspective of the individual that's being bitten, but it seems like depending on the fandom, the universe, the type of vampire, etc., that it's like if it feels good, it pretty much feels good upon for lack of a better word, penetration. Like it's already like the fangs have like a venom on it that is either like a a pain. It's like an anesthetic or a pain it nullifies pain or is an intoxicant from the get-go. Like just the saliva or something has supernatural properties, or it just doesn't it doesn't hurt, or if it does hurt at all, it's not like it hurts first, then it feels good, and you forget about the pain. It's more like the pain is also pleasure, except for in certain circumstances. The dopamine receptors I've considered completely fried up until now suddenly recover and start bombarding me with pleasure I've never known before. Lucky you. Also, were you wearing makeup, like red eye makeup before, or where'd that come from? I finally let the tears go. They come flooding. They've been waiting for years. It's such a relief. Yeah, no, your body lets go of cortisol that way. It almost is though like this was like a conceptual drawing that they had before they really like ironed out what the character looked like, and they just loved it too much and it was too key to like change, so they just kept it even if it doesn't fit the rest of the character that they finalized later. Is it raining? I feel like I'm in the middle of a deluge. At least, washing away all my fears, all my sorrows, all my anger, all my pain, all of my ego. I've become one with the world and the woman behind me. She's holding me tight, making me feel like the only important thing in this world. Everything else blurs. I feel something intense towards her, something I've never felt before. Is this love? I hope it is. And for such a cynical character, this is the whole point I think they're trying to go for here, is that this character is very jaded, burnt out, like doesn't have any sort of real feeling of attachment or value in existence, and simply exists kind of just because, well, I'm here and I'll try to do this or that, I gotta make a living, blah 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 blah. Also, fuck it, you know? Like, doesn't really it they live in a world where they already lost the game before they started, and they're just have to play because they do. And you know, they're beautiful and they find their own little place and niche, but it was a rigged game from the start. You know, Chandler Bing from fucking New Vegas. You know, it's all just a bad hand of cards and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's like, maybe she could have done better, but maybe she couldn't have. This is not you, hisses a familiar, cynical voice in the back of my head. But it's okay. I never felt particularly fond of me anyway. New York, you're perfect. Oh, please don't change a thing. Greatest city on earth! He who laughs in the shadows always has the last laugh. I don't think that's the quote, but let's just change it to that, and it's still fine. Hallelujah! Praise be. When everything is cliche, nothing is. Isn't that the ever-distant utopia I've been chasing all along? People on the other trains, I hope you're doing fine. See, this is like a religious experience here. Like, she is so gone through this thing. She actually cares about other people and, like, is being a completely different person in this moment due to, you know, her brain sort of just overwhelming her with, you know, dopamine and oxytocin and, you know, all that shit. And she's just like, wow. Suddenly this world that I hate and it deserves to be destroyed it's perfectly fine. All this is good. If I just knew, you know? God, shut up. Just enjoy it. You finally understand. She's making love to me. She's giving birth to me. She's burying me. That's a good line. I like that. That's good writing right there. I like that. Like, those three things each being... That's good. I'm not going to go into why it's great. Pretty sure I've been dead for a while. Pretty sure I could stare at my own corpse in her hands from a distance for a moment somehow. And then I'm alive again. She lifts her mouth from my neck. No, wait. I taste blood in my mouth. Was I drinking her blood? Too? I realize that whatever this was, it's over, and I have to bask in the afterglow while I still can. I also immediately understand what I'm going to chase this fleeting feeling for the rest of my existence. Wow, that hits hard. That's like, oh yeah, no, that was the best experience ever. It was transformative. I felt like all the good things you could and felt good for other people and cared, and it was so different than my day-to-day and the suffering of being a human. And it's like, but as soon as it's like, and it's over, and I'm gonna just try to cling to that as much as I can, but I know this feeling, something I'm always going to want. And it's not like I have been flowers for Algernon. That is the best it's gonna get, and now I'm gonna always chase this. It's like, I'm a junkie now. And when you have an addiction, that's a responsibility. Finally, she lets out a whisper, which concludes the ceremony. No matter what happens next, don't forget, you're a monster. It's like, wow, you whisper such sweet, tender nothings. But you were lucky enough to be born into a world of monsters, so don't you ever mourn that fact. Okay, embrace it. Trophy earned, Shrouded in Shadows. World title. Once again, I find myself in Big Beat Burger. You can't big. Take two. You can't beat Big Beat Burger. No matter how big you are, you can't beat our burger. Da burger. Familiar surroundings, faces I recognize, mood, same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Still, I process it in an entirely different way. It all frustrates me now, or more precisely, makes me frustrated with myself. It's like I'm clinging to the remnants of a cocoon. Remnants of a cocoon I've outgrown. Ugh. This is the same with these cigarettes. I don't need them anymore, so why do I keep holding on to them? Fucking hell, it's like I refuse to accept that I'm something better than I used to be. A vampire. Just 2 nights ago I met Karen, with a C. She has embraced me, by which I mean turned me into a kindred. She calls herself my sire and me her child. With an E. Last night she taught me the basics of survival. Drinking blood, manipulating humans, bending steel, controlling shadows. Yeah, you know, that third one, becoming a steel bender, you know, just like, you know, like an earthbender plus. That's part of just being a vampire. No, it is not. You can use physical strength to do it. I don't think the La Sombra are that's a thing that they do. I think it's controlling shadows is. You can use the shadows to do that. You can use supernatural vampire strength to do that, but I think they just added that to be like, I think that sounds cool. Let's do that. Tonight I expected more lessons. Instead, she just told me to go out and enjoy myself. Yeah, I feel like I should have given some, I don't know, laid some ground rules. Like, hey, so last night I told you how to, like, you know, do stuff that, you know, is not human stuff. Don't do that in front of humans. And also don't be like all Nicolas Cage. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. Also, I recently watched the What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, not the series, which I love the series, but I caught up on the series until they come out with new ones. And it's great. Highly suggest it to everybody. The series especially. The movie's great too. They're different, but it's like a flavor. But yeah, no, one of the characters in the movie, not like, I don't feel like this is a big spoiler. He doesn't do a very good job of being like not telling people he's a vampire. You know, which is actually a thing that happens in the series, I think, too, you know. What's the catch, I asked, to which she responded, I might kill you if you prove to be a disappointment. Good night, Wesley. I'll probably kill you in the morning. Which, I feel like some rules, or some guidelines at least, some basics, some tenets of, you know, the masquerade would be good to pass on, but it's like, if you get yourself killed in one night by violating the masquerade, by being a dumbass, you don't deserve to live, and I have every right to kill you and shit. There are a few rules. I have to uphold the mask. Okay, cool. So you actually did. I can't contact anyone I knew as a human. I can't let anyone realize I'm not human anymore. I can't embrace anyone, and so on. Okay, so you did. Okay, good. Otherwise, I'm free to do whatever I want. But for some reason, the first thing I did was come back here. Old habits die hard. I mean, you went there every day for years on end. So, plus, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you might want to or not. Karen is probably watching me from somewhere even now. The way I understand it is tomorrow night she's supposed to introduce me to the Camarilla, a local society of vampires. Turns out they are the ones who have been systematically ruining my life lately. All part of some secret evaluation that I barely passed. Just imagining the reach they has makes me dizzy. After they destroyed the old me that I barely cared about, Karen rebuilt me anew. On one hand, her test left some scars that will take some time to heal. On the other hand, maybe I should just be grateful. So, what we're going to do is we're going to break you down, then build you back up, then break you down again, then take lunch. Then we'll build you back up, break you down, and then build you back up into the perfect fighting machine. I'm snapped out of my thoughts by a sudden scream. Oh, something cool happening? Some douchebag yelling about his french fries not being salty enough. Really? Because they like usually have salt packets. Like that's something you could do on your own. Salting the French fries afterwards is not gonna like make their that oh shit just punch off his head and chug his fucking blood like a shitty beer. I think this may be my cue to leave permanently. Goodbye, BBB. I'll never see you. Hope I never see you again. You probably will. It's one of the assets that they have, and it's one of the new assets that they added since the other one, so you almost certainly will have to come back here for meetings or to watch people or something. I'm destined for greater things, you see. Retributive justice. A meathead bully and his unfortunate victim. Probably shouldn't interfere, but what better chance could I find to test what I've become? Look at that guy. He looks... ah. Danse macabre. A time to swing a little more of the devil's dance floor. The club beckons, and risk of swiping right. This Tinder addict smells like a bit of a loser and a wannabe intellectual. A perfect source of nourishment. Honestly, I'm gonna go deal with this guy, but I want to pause for a second because it's early in the night. And I feel like I don't think I'm gonna like play through and like go back if I don't like the outcome. But I'm already enjoying this one better than I was the first one, so that's a good sign. I might want to do that. I doubt that I will, but I'm gonna save real quick and I'll be back.